I get this game requested to be reviewed quite often, and while I've played it in the past for a minute or two, I never really took the time to dive headfirst into it and figure out what's it all about, and that's my fault. But in this video, we're going to take a dive into Until You Fall a lot deeper. Check out its shortcomings and why it should be a blueprint for fitness games to come, and also what I'd like to see for Until You Fall 2 Lost in New York. Let's go! Now, if you didn't know, Shell Games is a development studio that has brought you classic games such as I Expect You to Die 1 and 2, Lost Recipes, Daniel Tiger's Stop and Go Potty, and lots more. And Until You Fall is one of the best because it's story-based without being up its own ass. Sometimes you get games where the narrative is drawn out to the point where you're like, oh my god, just let me play. It's one of the reasons I'm not a huge Resident Evil fan. Don't hate me, everybody, because it seems like everyone but me loves Resident Evil 4. But not here. You get some story, but then it's go time. The graphics are excellent, especially since this game came out nearly 3 years ago. And in VR gaming years, it may as well have come out in 1982 on the Atari 5200. But Until You Fall can still swing an axe with the big boys, and has that Jurassic Park aura about it. Remember how when Jurassic Park first came out and everyone was amazed by the technology and the computer-rendered dinosaurs, and the subsequent movies that followed just looked somehow worse while failing to capture the awe of the first one? But despite its age, it's still one of the most beautiful games on the market today. The gameplay is a little confusing at first, but easy to pick up once you've died a few times, and die you will. The purpose of this game is to die, because every time you die, you're resurrected and you come back stronger and more powerful. Rise, champion! So here's the basics of Until You Fall. You start with 2 weapons, and you fight a bunch of glowing monsters and knights who are guarding something for some reason. Doesn't really matter that much, just know that your job is to kill basically everything you see. As you progress, you gain Aether. Aether will help you after you die, and after each stage you get to choose some power-ups that help you along the way. And at first, it's gonna all look and sound like gibberish, but the more you play it, the more you'll understand it. This isn't something you fully grasp on the first playthrough, so don't expect to. I can't stress this enough. You really do have to play through it a few times to understand all of the things going on. You hack and slash your way through your enemies, blocking and dodging when needed, again, something you'll get the hang of as you play more. And when you die, and you will, you return to the start, the very start. This is where the fun begins. You can use all of the Aether you collected to start forging more weapons, more powerful weapons, upgrading the ones you have, and trying out your super moves on this practice dummy that you're keeping as some kind of weird slave. Ugh. I don't want to know what he's doing with that guy when I'm not around. There are 2 different ways to fight your way through this, and I'm going to talk about this more in the fitness section later in the video. So you upgrade your weapon and return to battle. And you start at the beginning every time, like I said. There's no checkpoints, however, you'll be shooting your way through the first few enemies as you get more powerful, and so it doesn't take nearly as long to play through each time. You'll face bosses and eventually beat the game. This has a ton of replay value. In fact, it's the ultimate replayable game because you have to die and come back to find success, just like in real life. I've logged quite a few hours in this game just this week alone and only have made it about 2/3 of the way through, on the easiest setting. Yeah, either I suck or this game's rough. So let's talk fitness. You're on a fitness channel watching a review of a 3-year-old game. Of course you want to learn something new here. So essentially there are 2 ways to play this game. Cardio focused and core focused. Now, like all VR fitness games of the current era, you're going to see mostly arm swinging, and when you choose your weapons, this is where you can decide how you want to work out. If you pick the 2 single-handed weapons, like let's say a sword and a knife, you're going to be able to arm swing your way through a higher heart rate with much of the focus being on your shoulders, your arms, and just think like Beat Saber style here. The second way, and this is a new one that just was released in March, I believe. The second way is more core focused style with a 2-handed weapon, like an axe or a hammer. or mace. When using two-handed weapons, you're gonna end up twisting and rotating your trunk more, which is gonna activate your abdominals and your obliques, as well as the supporting muscle groups a bit differently than just arm swinging style. Likely, your heart rate won't go as high, but you'll be targeting different muscle groups with the two-handed weapon style. It's good to mix it up because you're gonna sink a ton of hours into this game, and the benefits you're gonna see are as follows. Reaction time, aerobic work, upper body, shoulders, and arm work, core work, leg work when you're squatting and dodging attacks later in the game. Lastly, the reason I think Until You Fall is a great fitness game is because you're going to completely lose track of time while playing this once you find your groove. The theme distracts you from the fact that you're drenched in sweat and getting your workout on. I think this has potential to become the ultimate fitness games with a few tweaks. And here are my suggestions for what I would like to see in Until You Fall 2 Fall Harder. First, I'd like to see some sort of class system in place where I can customize my character and choose from different classes that have different abilities. I'm a sucker for those kind of games like Gauntlet and Knights of the Round where I have options. I know you never see yourself, but it would be awesome to look down and see your customizations. Second, I would love to see a checkpoint mode. Now, I know that's not the point of the game, but it would be nice to have the ability to play through from a starting point where I fell, even if it was just like a power-up I could pick up along the way that returns me to life immediately after I've fallen. Lastly, I hope if and when they ever release Until You Fall 2 Electric Boogaloo, that they have a fitness focus in mind or even a fitness mode with the movements and utilize different maneuvers to achieve different results. Squat holds, lunge holds, power movements, fast movements, that kind of thing. So if you haven't already tried Until You Fall, I highly suggest you check it out. I'm guessing a large majority of you have. However, I know that more and more people are getting into VR at various points, and some of these older games feel like brand new games to people who have just purchased a Quest 2. This is also available on PC and the PSVR. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much. And as a special treat, I'd love to give you a free game. So leave me a comment and make sure you put 3 thumbs up emojis in your comment down below. And next week, I'll do a random drawing on my community tab. So leave your comment, like the video, and don't forget to get your workout in today. Rise, champion!